If you are the second fastest qualifier, you will earn 80. Third place gets 70, 60, 50, and on down from there. So it is worth fighting for. Dave Villwock will be the first boat away from the dock. The 440 is not going to come out during this qualification session. They are out of it as far as the qualifying is concerned. So we defer to the second boat on the list. It is the U40, the Beacon Plumbing, with Dave Villwock. I am in a position now where I can report officially that the 1 liter incident we had a little bit ago did involve the boat Y52 and Sean Bauscher. We will await for official word on his condition, but we at least have a positive ID on the boat and driver, Sean Bauscher. We have further been told that Sean himself is sitting up. We will take that as good news, but it's what we are told. We will not expand on it any further. Dave Villwock goes down the front straightaway. So when you come out of the pit area here for H1 Unlimited qualifying, you come out of the pit, you go down the front straightaway, you get a green flag. You are then on the clock. So Dave Villwock, coming off the lower end of the race course, is our first qualifier here, or attempted qualifier here, and he is blistering up the backstretch here. Sean, you're giving me thumbs up. Are you okay, my friend? He's got 2 thumbs up from Sean Bauscher. Best news of the weekend so far. Sean, thank you very much. He is okay walking back through the pit area. That's a better sight than Dave Villwock ripping through the top end of the race course, and it's not even close. Great news. Sean Bauscher, 1 lap in the books for Dave Villwock. He is our first qualifier. The qualifying attempt is 3 laps. They will take your fastest lap as your qualifying time. That one, I can assure you, as it must be, has to be north of 130 miles an hour. It was indeed that fast. First lap for Dave Villwock, 164.317 miles an hour. And there is our fastest lap turn so far today. It's been turned in qualifying. Villwock has got a rocket ship under him. He is flying down the backstretch. First lap at $1:64. He's to the entrance pin, to the top end of the race cars. Oh my goodness. The driver who has won this race 9 times just woke up everybody in Southern California with a lap north of 164. Down the front straightaway, he will come down and put a second lap in the book. Is it faster, slower? Where is it? We will have it as we monitor the official radio. Dave Villwock driving a U40. The Beacon Plumbing backed it off quite a bit on that one. 157.842. 157.842 miles an hour. I think he likes that 164. You don't want to push it too hard and pick up a fuel flow violation or an N2 violation, because it would wipe out the entire qualification run. Sometimes you'll see a quick lap followed by a couple of slow ones for that very reason. But Dave still got his foot in it as he reaches the entrance pin here of turn 2, the SeaWorld turn. He will come off the corner. The boat compressor stalls just a little bit. He will come off the corner and come down, pick up a checkered flag, and this qualification effort will be put in the books. He has grabbed everybody's attention. Dave Villwock, 3 up and 3 down. We'll get a speed on lap number 3 as Dave pulls his foot. 155.798.
Brad, I've got Sean here. No, Sean, you gave the 2 thumbs up to Brad when you saying you're okay, but the Race Rescue gave you an 8 out of 10. Can you tell all of our fans what exactly happened coming out of turn 1?
Well, I got a crappy start. Coming up around the turn, and it was a little bit of an ocean out there. I had the wing up because we were flying through the turn, and I was just getting ready to straighten the boat out and come up the front stretch, and I'm sorry, the back stretch, and either caught a gust of wind or I had the wing in the wrong position, and the boat just went for a ride.
Well, you haven't seen the damage on the boat, but I'm looking at it earlier. It doesn't look too bad. You might be able to get it back out on the water, you think, maybe tomorrow?
We'll see what the engine did. Hopefully the engine didn't hurt. No structural damage. So yeah, I'll be back in the water tomorrow.
Now that's spoken by a true boat racer right there. He says, you know what, I'm going to be back out on the water first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that'd be a great time to test. Get the water dried out, get the dry out of me. I was in the water for a little second there. Kind of worried me for a split second, but we got out. Swallowed a little bit of water. The salt water tastes real good, by the way. But no, we'll get the boat back in. We'll get her tore down, see what's wrong with it, and try to be ready for tomorrow morning.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. Glad you were doing okay. We will hopefully going to see you back out on the water tomorrow morning. So Brad Luce says, hey, congratulations, Sean. You're doing well. Brad, bring it back up to you. What's our next boat coming out on the water?
I do believe our next boat should be the 11. Yes, should be Jamie Nielsen in the 11. Now, we've got to make sure our fans understand exactly what's just happened here. Dave Villwock has gone out and laid down a lap north of 164 miles an hour, but the boat must go through tech inspection. They have to check the RPM of the output shaft of the motor. That's called the N2. They also have to check the fuel flow of the boat. But Kay Brewer, he just sent a message up and down the pit area. That boat is fast.
Well, it's the boat, it's the driver, it's the crew. It's a combination of all of that. Plus, as we've said it before, it's seat time. And that gentleman getting out of that Beacon Plumbing has got a lot of experience and a lot of seat time behind him. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing Dave as he makes it back out on the course. But to our fans here at San Diego, we're going to watch that beautiful J&Ds make it out onto the course.
Yep, the J&Ds is away. Dave Villwock just caught the line off the dock and talked to that team, talked to that crew yesterday. They had some new parts and pieces to throw at the race course. Early indicator, those look pretty positive.
I like that idea. That boat, Brad, just looks so pretty as it goes down the front stretch. And Jamie behind the wheel started his career in outboard racing, moved his way up into the Unlimiteds. And, it's been a lot of work, but he has proven to himself why he deserves to be in the seat of that U11 J&Ds.
Well, he's down at the bottom end of the race course right now. Big wall of water off that skid fin. We'll see what kind of a line. Jamie wants to nice corner. Jamie comes out about lane number 2. Jamie will come up the backstretch on this lap number 1. Look at Jamie fly the boat, picking up the right side sponge and just having it dance on the top of the water. Nielsen, top end of the race course. U11 J&Ds, owned by Scott and Shannon Rainey. Brand new facility for that boat. Brand new home port in Cle Elum, Washington. In central Washington, it is an absolutely gorgeous location that they call home. Don't know if it compares to this, entirely different, but it is a beautiful location that they have found in the central part of the state of Washington. First lap is in the books, 149.112, 149.112 miles an hour. Jamie Nielsen on lap number 1. Slides out just a little bit wider on this particular corner coming up the backstretch. We get a great view up here atop the tower of the line. The guys want to take through that lower corner. When they come off that exit pin down there, they basically are running right at us. They're coming right in our lap. Jamie Nielsen sets it up, hangs the boat on the hook, as we call it. That's when he starts to turn it left, and that big skid fin on the left side, on the trailing edge of that left sponson, digs in and puts that big wall of water up in the air. Jamie will come down and put 2 in the book. First lap at 149. Was he able to move this north of 150 miles an hour? Monitoring the radio, we'll have it here shortly. He has improved. He's come up at least 2 miles an hour. 151.423, 151.423 miles an hour. Pretty much the same line through the lower corner this time. Radio man to Jamie Nielsen is boat owner Scott Rainey, as he watches his driver. And Scott and Shannon and that crew put their heart and soul into this boat. The former T4 Miss Budweiser And it is running beautifully. Light on the sponsor, and that time I like his line up the backstretch at the entrance pin to this corner. I think it was better. He had a problem, I thought, right there when he came off of turn 2 on lap number 2. I think he's cleaner this time. Can he bump it up a little bit? Last lap, 151.4. What's Jamie got for us this time as he has completed lap number 3? Still awaiting the time to come through. We'll have it as soon as it gets stated on the radio. And so far, we do not have a time on the third lap. But my two scribes up here are now writing feverishly. So I'm thinking we have something here. It's better yet. 152.142 miles an hour. 152.142 miles an hour. Jamie Nielsen will be our second qualifier for the 2021 Home Street Bank San Diego Bay Fair. Congratulations, Jamie Nielsen and the U11 racing team, the J&D. Now, I want to go back to Dave Villwock's lap at 164.317. We were talking about course records earlier today, and we separate those records between non-restricted, non-fuel restricted records and those since fuel restrictions in 2009. The qualification lap record for fuel restricted attempts here on San Diego Bay Fair Bill Munsey Racecourse. The course record here, fuel restricted, 164.759. Dave's lap, 164.317. Just 0.4 of a mile an hour less. However, there's a silver lining. The course record is held by Dave Villwock from 2011. He would have been knocking down his own record, but I think he would have liked to have had it. I can tell you for sure Kelly Stockland would have liked to. Good run for Dave Villwock. The boat is in tech inspection now where the black box is, and Jamie Nielsen is back to the dock. Next up on our qualifying ladder, I believe, is Corey Peabody. Should be Corey Peabody, then J. Michael Kelly, and then Jimmy Shane. The line is off the nose of the 9. They spool up the turbine. We can see the propeller turning from right here, looking down on that beautiful black, silver, and red Pinnacle Peak Construction. Away from the dock, Corey Peabody. It's kind of interesting to watch these drivers line as they come out of the pit area, because when they cross start finish line, they are on the clock. So here comes Corey. He goes way to the right before he starts to bend it to the left, as he's doing now. And I think he wants to get a good long run at that start finish line, at least the best he can. He enters the race course right now. He is accelerating the boat down the front straightaway. Corey Peabody about to get put on the clock in the U9, Pinnacle Peak Consulting.
Well, Brad, as we take our eyes on the water, I'm going to give you an interview with a very, very important person. I am standing here with Mr. Darrell Strong. As you look out onto the course, you're not looking at any average boat out there. This is your boat. You are the owner. This is your first season. You've been watching hydroplane racing for quite a while over in the Tri-Cities area, and now you decide to go out and buy a boat. Tell me, as an owner, how you feel every time you hear that boat, the turbine spin up, the boat leave the dock.
I can't believe it. Yeah, it's cool. And then you're worried that something will break, but then you're happy and you're excited. Usually by the time it leaves the dock, I'm already down somewhere else by the radio guys, so I can see it better.
Well, as an owner, tell me how, and tell our fans, how do you choose your drivers? You've picked two very good drivers. How do you pick a driver out of all of these drivers that are out here, all these crew members? A lot of them have a lot of experience with these hydroplanes, but how do you pick a driver?
Well, we hired Corey before we had a boat, and we were going to use him with whatever boat we sponsored. and then we ended up buying some boats. And Corey was so instrumental in how we put the team together and our philosophies and everything. And then the fact that Corey and Jay Michael were such good friends kind of paired them together.
Well, you not only own one boat that's out here on the course, you also have another boat right here ready to take out onto the course. So I don't think I've ever heard of this. Brad will probably correct me, but I have never heard of a boat owner coming into the sport and right off the bat buying two boats. I've heard of them buying one boat and then buying another one, but you went in just full force head into the sport and decided to buy two boats.
Yeah, not even sure how that happened.
Well, tell us a little bit about the shop. I was lucky enough a couple weeks to go down to visit your shop. You know, these boats are huge. They're 30 feet long, so you have to have a fairly big shop, but you have a huge shop. Tell us the size of your shop and explain to us a little bit what goes on inside the shop.
It's about 14,000 square feet, and my stipulation, I want it to look like a racing shop. If I bring a potential sponsor in there, I want it to look like guys are serious about racing, and so what goes on there is I feel like it's just a great place for the people to come, bring their family. We have a loft area for the kids. We have an entertaining place. We just try to do a lot of things. We have 2 refrigerators stocked with a lot of beer, and so we have a great crew that likes to go there, and so we get a lot of volunteer hours just because they want to come to the shop.
Exactly. Okay, well, we're going to put our eyes back out on the water for your driver, Corey Peabody, as he's out on the course. Brad Luce, give us some times and give us some speeds. How is he doing out there?
Corey Peabody in lap number 1 turned a 149 and change. Lap number 2, he stepped it up a little bit, 151 and change. His fast lap was the 3rd one, which he just completed. He's now coming off the lower end of the race course, having just completed his 3rd lap at 153.967. So basically 154, but it's 153.967 miles per hour. Corey Peabody, top end of the race course. Corey's coming off the race course with a pretty high rate of speed here. Wasn't sure exactly what he was doing, but he's backed off of it now. And he will come back to the pit area and yield to his teammate, the U8, and J. Michael Kelly.
Call your doorbell camera company and
We are inside 5 minutes to the 5-minute gun for Heat 1A at the Home Street Bank San Diego Bayfair. U1, Miss Home Street. U9, Pinnacle Peak Consulting. And U40, Beacon Plumbing, set to come in our Heat 1A. All 3 boats are in the water. Unofficially, we have about 4 minutes to the 5-minute mark. We will get the official countdown to the 5-minute mark, but we will unofficially be able to get you close to it. Right now on my unofficial watch, it is 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Start. Coming up on 8 minutes to the start, 3 to the 5. Unofficial that is, but we are inside 3 minutes to the 5-minute mark. We will have an official countdown when we get to 5 minutes. For H1 Unlimited, Heat 1A. Kay Brewer, we got Jimmy Shane. We got Corey Peabody. We have got Dave Villwalk, the Home Street, Pinnacle Peak Consulting, Beacon Plumbing. You ready to go?
I am ready to go, and I have a feeling Corey's ready to go. He's already got warmed up all morning long. We saw that strong boat out there. Corey Peabody, he's going to be a contender, but once again, we're going to look down here at that number 1. He is, as you said this morning, going for the top position.
20 seconds to the 5-minute. 20 seconds. I look down to the pit area, Kay Brewer. The lids are down. The lines are off. The adrenaline is turned on. We're inside 10 seconds to the 5.
4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
5 minutes. Race boats can come out on the water now. It is Heat 1A of the 2021 Home Street Bank San Diego Bay Fair. First away from the dock, Dave Villwalk in the 40, the Beacon Plumbing. Right behind him is going to be the powder blue and white Jimmy Shane. He will come out in the Miss Home Street, and letting the boats clear in front of them is going to be the U9, Corey Peabody, Pinnacle Peak, and actually Corey is still sitting at the dock, Kay. They haven't even closed the lid on it yet. But he's thrashing. I think this is by design.
I think so. It's up to each driver with their strategy. Their team has got themselves figured out. We saw them this morning out on the water numerous times working on those timings, those timing marks, Brad, and that's what you were talking about earlier. Timing marks are key.
They really are. You can lose a boat race at the start-finish line if you get across too early and incur a one-lap penalty. But, boy, you don't want to be late either. You will trail the field into turn number 1, and it's tough to get around them. The lid is down on the U9. Corey Peabody sitting at the dock. We'll keep an eye on him, make sure he moves away. Nobody is thrashing down there. I don't think there is any issue here or a problem. Kay Brewer, keep your eye on it there. Let us know.
I'm watching right now, and I still see crew members on the top of that boat on the side. Looks like they might be doing one more adjustment as Sandy Pearl jumps off, pushes the boat out. We're going to see the Pinnacle come right out here onto the course to join Jimmy Shane and Dave Villwalk.
3 minutes and 25 seconds to the start. You saw Jimmy Shane cut the race course there from the back stretch to the front stretch. That's a legal maneuver. Our smaller classes of boats can only cut from the back to the front. The boats on the unlimited circuit can cut from front to back. They do it at the lower end of the race course down where Jimmy Shane is now. He could hang a left and come across, not going to, but he could if he wanted to. Corey Peabody out on the race course in the U9. Kay Brewer, 2:55 and counting to our start.
All right, as our third boat makes its way out onto the course, Brad Luce, this is what our fans have been waiting for. The H1 Unlimited are bringing out here for Heat 1A.
Heat 1A, this is the title class. This is the headliner. This is the big show. We've got a lot at stake this weekend, but right now it is Heat 1A. And another comment we like to make when we go boat racing, everything builds from Friday through to that final heat on Sunday. And you cannot win the San Diego Bay Fair on the first heat of the weekend, but you can sure as heck lose it. Right now, job one is get out there and score points and score well. 2:15 to the start, Kay.
All right, I was talking to some of our fans out here that were watching and asked, hey, what is the saltwater effect? How does that change the boat? And you'll see they have a huge snorkel on the top of these boats. That is what helps to keep the saltwater out. that can slow you down. We've seen boats that have been stuck in traffic and got a rooster tail and a mouthful of that salt water, and unfortunately that will put out the fire.
Yeah, that will destroy a turbine engine, and because of that, Dave Villwalk's going to cut the race course right here, but he's going to come in behind Jimmy Shane, who had already come off the top end of the race course. This is some of the jockeying for position. The salt water will destroy a turbine motor as Corey Peabody cuts the race course back to front. Again, a legal maneuver, and because it is salt water, that has inflicted a rule change for this particular race, and this race only. Instead of a 7-boat length overlap before you can move over on somebody, you must have a full rooster tail, and it's because of that salt. That's a new rule for this race only. 1 minute and 12 seconds until our start. Boats are at the bottom end of the race course. You're going to see them come up the backstretch. Looks right now like Jimmy Shane's going to have himself in lane number 1. Right next to him is Villwalk. Villwalk's going to be at 2. Corey's going to come by on the outside. I don't think there's much room for any shenanigans right now, Kay Brewer. I think they're going to hold their lanes to the start-finish line.
We'll have to wait and see. It's very veteran drivers out here on the course. Corey Peabody steps it up and comes right up next to Dave Villwalk. We talked about Dave Villwalk all weekend long. How many records, how many national champions does he have? 67 of them.
67 race wins. He's won here 9 times, but this is the first heat. 30 seconds until the start. Jimmy Shane, lane number 1. Dave Villwalk, lane 2. The outside's Corey Peabody. When they cross that entrance pin to the top corner here, they got to hold that lane all the way to the start-finish line. This looks good. Inside 15 seconds to the start. Time to put the hammer down. It's about 12 seconds off that exit pin. We are inside 10 seconds in 5. We are inside 5. We're 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. And we are racing here in Heat 1A of the 2021 San Diego Bay Fair, presented by Home Street Bank. The start is already under review, so it was very close down there to the corner. Who gets down there first? Jimmy Shane gets down there first. You can only see one boat down there, but he's got company on his outside in that right side rear view mirror. Where is Dave? There he is right there, and there is Corey. Here comes the run up the backstretch. It is Jimmy Shane on the inside. Got a lead. He got through that lower corner quick. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the start is under review. Jimmy Shane flying up the backstretch. He's got a lead on Villwalk. We're going to get an idea just how much as Villwalk flew the boat up the backstretch. A lot of air underneath it. Kay Brewer, he was flying the U40.
I don't know if there was anything in the water as he came down that backstretch. You know, Jamie Shane, he's your leader. As we said, the start is under review, and I was watching it on the live stream. I said, man, that looks awfully close. But look at that Home Street. The Home Street VIP tent is excited and cheering on Jimmy Shane as he goes into turn 1, trying to battle off Dave Villwalk of the Beacon Plumbing.
We go 3 times around here in our preliminary heat. Shane is down to the entrance pin of the corner. Still got Dave Villwalk in the rooster tail. Corey Peabody's dropped off the pace just a little bit. Dave Villwalk is showing me something here, but I think he's also getting sent a little bit of a message that if he's going to run with Jimmy, he may have to get on the inside of him. But we still have a ways to go. We are a lap and a half in, Kay. We got a lap and a half to go. And we will have we're getting word of a possible 1-lap penalty on Corey Peabody in the 9. We will continue to monitor the radio, but it's a potential of a 1-lap penalty. Don't put it down in ink. Villwalk still trying to run down Jimmy Shane. Going to stay in that right side rear view mirror, but driving around Jimmy Shane on the outside is a tall order. Kay Brewer, 2 in the books, 1 to go.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. This is going to be a good, exciting first heat. I'm watching it live here on the H1 Unlimited sites. They've got some great coverage, but look, it looks like Dave Villwalk is starting to close the gap between him and Jimmy Shane. Jimmy Shane starting to raise that rooster tail as he goes to the apex of turn 1 and brings him down the backstretch.
Exit pin of turn number 1. Jimmy Shane got just about a full rooster tail. Remember, this is the Bill Muncy Cup, but he is also wanting to gather points for the team and driver national high points title, which is at stake this weekend. This would be a good start for Jimmy Shane, but he's still got half a lap to go. Beautiful boat ride for the powder blue and white of Jimmy Shane. Dave Villwalk staying right in that right side rear view mirror, but we've only got just the top end of the straightaway to go to complete our Heat 1A. It is going to be Jimmy Shane coming home with a victory in 1A in the Home Street Bank San Diego Bay Fair in lane number 1. Give the checkered flag to Jimmy Shane. Give a checkered flag to Dave Villwalk in the Beacon Plumbing. We will keep an eye on Corey Peabody. He will come down and complete lap number 3. We will see if they make him run an extra lap as a precautionary in the event there is a 1-lap penalty assessed him. We got word of it during the heat, but as far as the start procedure, at least unofficially, it sounds like our 2 leaders, the Home Street and the Beacon Plumbing, were legal.
What a way to start our weekend. We had a great race in the 1 leaders, and we're bringing out the big boys in the H1. They gave us a good show. Welcome to the 2021 Home Street Bay Fair, race fans.
Want to remind all our fans, that's the way they finished on the water. As we have it, the boats still need to go through tech inspection, and the final finish order must be signed off by H1 officials. So it's all unofficial at this point, and I think that's Corey coming hard up the backstretch doing exactly what we said he would do, which is take a precautionary 4th lap in the event they decide to assess a penalty for him. We will monitor the radio to ensure we understand all that, but Corey is going to come down now and pick up a checkered flag. Again, that was a precautionary lap. If he were to be assessed a 1-lap penalty, it really wouldn't change.
If a picture
inside 5 minutes to the 5-minute mark for our Heat 1B, the Home Street Bank San Diego Bay Fair. U11 J&D's Jamie Nielsen in this one, along with the U8 Miss Tri-Cities, driven by J. Michael Kelly, the boat owned by Daryl and Vanessa Strong. J&D's. The lid goes down. A couple of crew members left on the deck of that boat. We are ready to go. Coming up on 10 seconds. 10 seconds until the 5-minute mark and the start of our Heat 1B.
4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5-minute gun. Green flag on the course.
There you go. You heard it from the officials. That's the 5-minute mark. The boats cannot come out on the water until that particular point in time. That has come and gone, and here come our race boats. Jamie Nielsen first away from the dock in the Chartreuse and Royal Blue. J&D's, he kind of bends a little bit to the left. J. Michael Kelly in the Miss Tri-Cities, he will bend a little bit to the right. They don't want to be anywhere near each other when they come away from the dock. Again, it's that saltwater issue. You do not want to catch the spray off the back of somebody's boat. Look at Kelly. He goes way to the right. Now he'll bend it to the left. He's got clean water in front of him. Only 2 boats in this one, but it could be good. Kelly's got to get the win.
$10 that J. Michael Kelly was out there waving to our fans out there on the, they're right outside of the pit area. And I want to thank all of your fans here in the pits, outside the pits, over on the other side. We have hundreds of thousands of people out here cheering on our 2 drivers as they make it out onto the course. Brad Luce, these two that are out here started their racing career with the outboard hydroplane racing. I've watched them battle it out in the outboards, and I watched them both grow here into the unlimited hydroplane racing. I know that a lot of these kids that are sitting here on the beach want to say, someday I want to be an unlimited hydroplane driver, and these two lucky guys got to do it as they make their way out onto the course.
Yeah, J. Michael Kelly still spends a lot of time behind the wheel of an outboard boat. Look at Jamie Nielsen. It was very Dave Villwock-esque, as we used to say back in the day. He just ran a great big donut right in the middle of the field. He cut the course at the lower end, then he cut it at the top end. JMK thought, it must be good for him, it'll be good for me. He will do the same thing. Watch for these guys. Specifically because of the salt, look for them to give a lot of lane space between the two of them. I look for Kelly not to mess around and try and get on the inside. I think he probably feels he has Jamie covered. Look for him to move to the outside. I don't know. We know Mike is a master at getting an inside lane. Maybe he'll go for it, maybe not. If he does, you sure don't want to be late getting into turn 1. 2 minutes, 50 seconds, 2:50.
Well, Brad, as some of our fans are just now getting here this afternoon, can you explain to them how the starting procedure works? Yes. Don't tell me no. Our fans.
The boats are allowed to come out on the race course here at the 5-minute mark, and then they are doing what we call the milling period. Their lanes are not assigned to them. We quote unquote fight for lanes. They have to establish that lane at the entrance pin here to turn 2. That will happen prior to the 1-minute mark. 2 minutes and 20 seconds until our start. As the boats come up the backstretch, Jamie Nielsen is on the inside, JMK behind him, and on the outside. I honestly think this is the way they are going to start, Kay. I think they'll make a full lap here, go all the way around. The other piece to this start procedure, and they have to be very careful with this, during the milling period, they cannot drop below 80 miles an hour. Now, we used to do that via GPS. We used to do it via sight. Now it is picked up on the black box, and that is part of tech inspection. They look at the N2, they look at fuel flow, they also look at speed, and they have caught boats this year dropping below 80 miles an hour. In Tri-Cities, it happened a couple of times, so they know Big Brother, if you will, is watching. You've got to stay above 80 miles an hour. Now, the idea is there is no score-up buoy. They simply establish their lane at the entrance to turn 2, at the SeaWorld turn at the top end, which they're going to come up and do. It's going to be Nielsen in 1. Kelly's going to be on the outside, kind of as we anticipated. Then it is just a matter of putting your boat at the start-finish line. As the clock strikes 0, don't get across early. It's a 1-lap penalty. 1 second. Mark, 1 minute. 1 minute to the start. I also, Kay Brewer, would look for both of these guys to be conservative at the start. And by conservative, I mean you don't want to try and time this thing too finely. It's not worth it. As we said earlier, you cannot win this race in the first heat of the day, but you can sure as heck lose it.
Yes, exactly. And like you said, if they cross that start-finish line before the clock hits 0, it's a 1-lap penalty. That could be very painful when it comes to point status, because as you said, J. Michael Kelly, he's chasing down points to come and catch up with Jimmy Shane. So we've got 2 drivers out on the course. You can hear the compression that's coming out of the J&Ds as he feathers that throttle back and forth, as we are now going to let Brad Luce give us the countdown as they come down to the start-finish line.
Yeah, I think Jamie Nielsen's a little bit early because it's still 10 seconds. It's about a 12-second run off the top end of the race course. Here comes Kelly with boat speed on the outside. We are 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1, mark. And we are racing in Heat 1B at the Home Street Bank San Diego Bay Fair. If the start is under review, Kay. I said I didn't think they'd push it, but apparently they did. Nielsen in lane number 1, got to get down there first. Look at Kelly on the outside. He just rocketed past him. And J&D's is down. J&D is down. He has lost power, Jamie Nielsen. Tough break for the U11. He started to lose power, I think, earlier in the corner, K, because I think that's why Kelly went by him so fast. And now, all of a sudden, it is a 3-lap run for J. Michael Kelly. He's just got to complete the 3 laps. The start was good.
It was close, but it's good right now. JMK, J. Michael Kelly, with that strong racing, has the whole course to himself. As you said, he'll probably run this conservatively. But I would keep an eye on that J&D's boat. Hopefully he's able to go out there and restart it up, throttle that turbine up, and make it around the course, because some points are better than none. And I know that Scott Rainey is frantically talking to him, hey, can you get that thing back on the water? Let's go, let's roll.
And we are looking at Scott Rainey. He is standing right in front of us in the corral with the other radio men as J. Michael Kelly down in turn 1, lap number 2, goes around the disabled J&Ds and Jamie Nielsen. Tough break for Scott and Shannon Rainey, and they're both the J&Ds. We only had a 2-boat heat. It only lasted until halfway through turn number 1, lap 1, and unfortunately Jamie lost power. As I said last time, Kay, I think clearly he must have lost power before that. With the speed with which Mike went past J&Ds, I think he was already losing power, and you're not going to see the J&D's power up because the lid has popped open. Jamie Nielsen is going to open up the lid and get some air. He cannot come out of the cockpit unless he has a problem. He must stay in the boat.
Well, I'm watching the live feed that's being presented on your Facebook on the H1 Unlimited page, and they have a great view of J. Michael Kelly as he goes across the start-finish line and back into turn 1. That is what's great about our system right now, is we have an awesome live streaming with some great video coverage. But you know, Brad Luce, best place to be in the house is right here on the beaches with all these other folks and all these fans here in San Diego.
Yeah, it certainly is. And coming off the lower corner on the third and final time around, I love this view of an H1 Unlimited hydroplane. You can look right underneath the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. We call them 3-point hydroplanes because they only touch the water in 3 points. There is the definition, Kay, of a 3-point hydroplane. He's touching the water at the trailing edges of both sponsons. You can look right underneath the boat and see the propeller making contact. J. Michael Kelly, this is an important finish for him. These 400 points are huge. He will then take his 180-point lead over Jimmy Shane in the Miss Home Street. Checkered flag for J. Michael Kelly, and all of a sudden Jimmy with 4,325 points. JMK plus 180. He's back up to that number, 4,505. That was a big win for Kelly. Sorry we didn't get to see him duke it out a little bit with Jamie. He had a good start on the inside.
Exactly, and like you said, those points are getting closer, and the weekend is just beginning. We have 2 full days of racing still left to go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Once again, I remind all of our fans, go to the H1 app, download it. It'll give you the point standing, it'll give you videos, it'll give you specs, it'll give you times, it'll give you everything you need to know and want to know when it comes to H1 Unlimited hydroplanes.
We need to remind our fans that that was how the boats finished on the water. Those results are unofficial. The boats still have to go through technical inspection. Only then will they become official, and even after that, when the officials basically sign off on the heat and give us an official order. But it certainly looks to be the J. Michael Kelly will come home with 400 points in our Heat 1B. The finish is unofficial until our officials say differently. We will monitor the process, and as soon as we hear, we will pass it along to you. Now, 70 years, whether it's commercial or industrial, you can be sure the job will be done right. Davies Electric. The San Diego Tourism Marketing District is a major supporter of the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Tour. Thank you for the support, and when planning your next vacation, consider San Diego. And San Diego Bayfair fans, today, Saturday, we have a group doing a survey for the San Diego Tourism Marketing District. Please give them a couple minutes of your time and let them know what hotel you are staying at this weekend. San Diego Bayfair and San Diego Tourism Marketing District would appreciate it. Thank you. First boat away is going to be J. Michael Kelly in the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities. These boats can look a lot alike, but if you look at the fairings, that's the tail section on the back of the boats. J. Michael Kelly's is red. Corey Peabody's is black. That was a change made after the racing in Madison, Indiana. JMK away from the dock. He's out clean. Corey's going to let him clear, and then he will come out in the 9K. They don't want to take any chances of getting any of that salt spray into those motors. Here comes Corey. He is away. Pinnacle Peak Consulting. You'll see the black fairings on the back of this one. Red behind the white cowling on Kelly's boat. The two of them out here, we were supposed to have the U11, the J&Ds. If you remember the previous heat that we ran, the J&D's boat went dead in the water down in turn 1. They literally exploded some of the internals on the motor. It caused incredible damage to that motor, and they are scrambling down there to get the boat back into today's racing. Unfortunately, they could not do it in time for this heat, so we will miss the U11 J&Ds in this one. Kay, that's a tough break, but they're thrashing down there right now.
They're a hardworking team. I've been on that crew a few times to help them out. They've got a lot of hardworking people on the team. Sam Hodeling has got his feet inside the cockpit. He is working diligently. Brad Luce, you have a piece of the motor right here. That just shows you how much damage happened to that motor. It's unfortunate for the J&Ds. Let's take our eyes back out onto the water. These two that are out here are best friends. Went to high school together. They have been racing against each other in all sorts of different classes, so it'll be fun to watch to see. Is it going to be the 8? Is it going to be the 9, Brad?
We're about to find out. You mentioned they went to high school together. These guys have known each other back to kindergarten. They are the same age. They are both 42. They've been racing together all their life. Now they find themselves teammates on the team of Darrell and Vanessa Strong. Coming up on 2:40 till the start. 2:40 till the start. And I think the way they're sitting on the water right now, I got a nickel says that's the way they come to the line. Look for JMK to stay in lane number 1, Corey on the outside, and look for Corey to stay wide. You do not want to get the spray off the rooster tail of another boat. They are out here to compete against one another, and compete they will. The competitive juices, no matter what the owner might tell them, the competitive juices are going to take over, and these guys are going to start squirting the throttle. So there's the two boats of Darrell and Vanessa Strong. Miss Tri-Cities on the inside with the white cowling. There is the Pinnacle Peak Consulting on the outside with the black fairings and the silver cowling on it. Inside 2 minutes, Kate, 1:55.
They are giving our fans quite a show, so make sure you bring out your cameras and take a picture. Look at these two side by side. That is a photo picture right there. The rooster tails are perfect as they go down that front stretch.
Looks like one boat, but it is two coming up on 1:40 until the start. So I think they'll go down to the bottom end of the race course. They will go all the way through turn number 2. They will come up the backstretch. I think these guys are just going to stay right where they are. I don't think anything funny is going to happen. They're running out of time for that to happen. However, one of the boats could give it a squirt and move way out in front of the other boat. Corey could, and then move to the inside on Mike. Don't think he's going to do it. But whatever lane K they are in when they get to the entrance buoy of this upper corner, that's the lane they have to come to the start-finish line with.
3, 2, 1. White flag on the course.
White flag on the race course. That means we are inside 1 minute. Still Corey on the outside. And it's interesting standing up here on the tower, Kay, you look at those two boats. Corey's boat is definitely smaller. It's one of the smaller boats in the fleet. You can really see it right here. That is a smaller hydroplane than J. Michael Kelly's.
Exactly, but they're both running under the same horsepower. 3,000 horsepower is what's being underneath these guys as they power their way down the backstretch. That is a lot of horsepower, and we've talked about it yesterday. We're going to talk about it today to our fans at home. These drivers will reach speeds of 180 miles an hour to 200 miles an hour out here on this large race course.
Coming up on 20. Mark, 20 seconds to the start. Kelly in 1, Peabody in 2. Oh, you don't want to jump the start. We've seen that happen a couple of times this weekend already. You got to be legal before you can be fast. Kelly in 1, Peabody in 2, inside 10, inside 5. We are 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and we are racing here in Heat 2A day of the Home Street Bank San Diego Bay Fair. The start was clean. Kelly, it looks like from here, is going to get down there first. He is the boat on the inside. JMK in one, Peabody on the outside. Oh, Corey's right there. Corey's right with him. He's about 2 boat lengths back. Now we'll get a good view as they come off the exit pin there and see where they are. Oh, Corey is right on his hip. Now they spread out. They've got plenty of lane space between them, and now it is just put the pedal down and see who's got acceleration off that corner. Be careful, guys. You're running into a pretty stiff breeze. Couple of good friends squaring up and going at it. Peabody is pulled up alongside in the U9 Pinnacle Peak, but on the inside it is Kelly with the lane position. Kay, this is good.
This is amazing, and I'm watching the footage that they're giving to us on the H1 side, and it is some great footage as you can watch. This Corey Peabody, he got really flighty. You got to remember, they're floating on a cushion of air. If Michael happens to bring the front of that boat down, he's going to push all the air out from underneath him. Hopefully it doesn't go right under Corey and send him over. We saw him hold it out together at Gunnersville, Alabama, as he almost blew it over. Can Corey overtake J. Michael Kelly as they go down the front stretch into turn 1?
One in the books, 2 to go. Down to the bottom end of the race course. Who's got the lead down there? It is still JMK on the inside. But I'm telling you, Corey Peabody is right there. He's knocking at the door. He's about 2.5, maybe 3 boat lengths back. Kelly to the exit pin. Peabody is getting a great corner out of that boat down at the lower end of the race course on each lap. Now, straight acceleration again up the backstretch. Peabody on the outside, trying to run down his buddy from all the way back in kindergarten. Couple of boats side by side. Daryl and Vanessa. Man, you've got a couple of fast race boats. They're flying him here to the entrance pin, and it's J. Michael Kelly by 2 boat lengths.
And you talked about it earlier, saltwater is a factor, and J. Michael Kelly is in the lead. Corey Peabody doing everything he can to keep up right next to him. He does not want to come back at all. He does not want to see any of that rooster tail, because if he does, he can put out the fire. But J. Michael Kelly starting to walk away from Corey Peabody.
Start of lap number 3. This is the 3rd and final lap. Kelly looks like maybe he has opened up a little bit of water between himself and Corey Peabody as they get down to the I-5 corner at the other end. And yes, he has. He's almost got 3/4 of a rooster tail there, almost a full rooster tail when he comes off the corner. Watch Corey, see how wide he goes. He doesn't want any of that skid fin wall water into the motor part of his engine off the corner. J. Michael Kelly, he needs these 400 points, Kay, and he's willing to fight for him. A lot of air underneath that 8 on the inside.
And he look at those rooster tails as they're starting to move way inside of the boat. It looks like Corey Peabody's trying to just keep that boat straight as they go down the backstretch into the apex. Brad Luce, bring J. Michael Kelly to the start finish line.
Apex of the corner, exit pin, J. Michael Kelly gonna come down to pick up 400 huge points here. They are huge in the National Driver High Point standings. Checkered flag flies. It goes to J. Michael Kelly and the U8 The Mist Tri-Cities Corey Peabody driving the U9 Pinnacle Peak Consulting will come home in second place. 400 for Mike, 300 for Corey Peabody. That was fun. Let's gas them up and send them back out. I like that kind of stuff.
I like that idea. You know, J. Michael Kelly is chomping at the bit, trying to go after the Home Street boat. Another 400 points in the book, getting a little bit closer to Jimmy as he does every single heat. These two have fought it out years in the past, doing it again. I'm going to climb down these stairs once again and go congratulate J. Michael Kelly with the strong racing.
Boats are returning to the dock here. Corey Peabody going to get back first in the U9. And not quite sure how it occurred. However, we have a runaway buoy here. The entrance buoy to turn 2 up here is on the move. It's headed across the race course. If it looks like it's out of place, it is. Here comes a patrol boat to go out and retrieve it. But our 2 strong racing boat entries are back to the dock.
Do not take
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are inside 5 minutes to the 5-minute gun for our Heat 2B. It's going to be a two-boat shootout. And if you'd like to see a couple of big names in the sport square off, how about Jimmy Shane and Dave Villwock?
Jimmy
Villwock's
Shane.
going to be out here in, sorry about that, Kay. Jimmy Shane's going to be driving the U1 the home street. He gets a first-place finish here, Kay Brewer. He can clinch the National High Point Team Championship for Miss Madison Racing and Miss Home Street. That's a big deal. That's always a goal at the beginning of the year.
You and I have a great view up here from the tower. I'm looking right down onto the home street boat as Jimmy Shane is all strapped in and ready to go, giving knuckles to his teammates. And we got Dave Villwock doing the same. He's sitting in there. He is looking out onto the course, and he is saying, I'm going to do this. I need to be here at this point. I want to be here at this point. You know, each driver comes out with a strategy, and
5 minutes to go. The boats cannot leave the dock until 5 minutes. And here comes Dave, and he's coming out to the left.
wow, that's a little bit of a strategic move. All of our drivers have been coming off to the going straight across. I don't know, Brad. Check this out. It is almost like the race to the races. They got super close coming out of the pits. I don't know about that move, Brad.
They got a little bit close together right there, and it's not that the boats got close together coming away from the dock, because they did not get that close, but it's that squirt of salt water you don't want it in the engine. And already we've had a little activity. Look at Jimmy Shane come out of the corner. He's ripping down the front straightaway already, and we are 4 minutes until the start. But the other side of the equation is you don't see Dave Villwock because he's running hard with him down to the other end. This might be fun. Now Villwock pulls his foot at 4 minutes and said, wait a minute, I think we got a ways to go here until we actually go racing. But that was an interesting run down the front straightaway right out of the pit area.
Dave Villwock opts to go all the way down turn number 1, while Jimmy Shane comes right across the middle of the course. Keep in mind, he has a DMZ zone that he cannot go through, went straight down, and he wants to get away from Dave Villwock because, like you said, that salt water can make a factor, and it can put out that motor pretty quick. We unfortunately saw one motor that is now in shrapnel pieces. We don't want to see another one because Jimmy Shane...
Watch Dave. He's going across the race course, going to try and jump in front of Jimmy right here. This is the race before the race. Now, Jimmy has the right-of-way on the inside lane, and Dave doesn't have it until such time as he crosses two buoys. Holy cow, Jimmy is backing way down, and have we got a problem?
I have a feeling he might have taken a gulp of that salt water that Dave left behind him. This is going to be an interesting race. You can see it on the live stream. It looks like Jimmy Shane might be down, Brad.
Yeah, now here's the way the rule book reads. You've got to maintain 80 miles an hour before the start. You can come off plane once. Clearly, that is the one time right there for Jimmy Shane, but he's got to get it up and running. 2:40 until the start.
Jimmy
2:40.
Shane, he's trying to get it up. We can see that he's trying to get back up onto plane. He's trying to get that motor spuled back over. We all have our eye on that home street boat located right across the start finish line as Dave Villwock once again comes back around through the middle of the course.
Yeah, Dave's cutting the course again. He's going to come right back down to Jimmy Shane, who is still dead in the water. Now Dave cuts the course again. Oh, my goodness, what a story we've got going right here as the home street U1. Jimmy Shane, here he goes. He's trying to light the candle. He's got to be up and running at the 1 minute mark. He's trying to get it lit. 1:59. He's got plenty of time. He actually, if he could get the candle lit, he's not in a bad position. He is up. He is on a plane.
All right, watch Dave Villwock once again cut around the middle of the course. He looks like he's taking the Grand Prix course because he's taking all those short courses. But this time, he goes back down towards Jimmy Shane into lane 1.
This is going to be interesting. You're still at a minute 30, so where Jimmy is and even where Dave is, they are very early. Look at Jimmy. He's going to go way wide because I think he's going to try and pull this off by not going around or doing any cutting again. He's trying to just eat up clock by going way wide. He's willing to give the inside lane to Dave, and this is all. And now look at Dave. Dave is, see if Dave doesn't come back to the left. Yep, Dave is doing an S-curve coming up the backstretch. He is trying to eat up clock because they are early.
All right, we saw that once before at Seafair. I remember you were there when we watched them do that. Dave Villwock still trying to scrap off some time, but he almost hit a buoy doing it. So Dave Villwock really needs to watch himself. He's out here on the course trying to fight it out with Jimmy Shane.
I think it's time to go racing now. Shane is already up here at the entrance pin to the corner. He is at 40 seconds when he got here. Now Dave is going to come up behind him on the inside. I think they're going to have to troll up to the line of scrimmage. Jimmy Shane has got to be careful here. He cannot drop below 80 miles an hour a second time. He's already been off plane once. He's got to keep the thing lit. We are coming up on 20 seconds until the start. It is Villwock in 1, Shane in 2. Still 15 seconds until the start. They're pulling their foot out of it. They can't go below 80 miles an hour. Inside 10 seconds. Oh, this is going to be close. We are inside 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, we're racing here in Heat 2B. Brad. Of the San Diego Bay Fair presented by Home Street Bank. Jimmy Shane's down to the corner first. We are looking to see what kind of word we're getting from the officials on the start, and they are writing a lot down on the paper.
I see
Kay,
a
will
big
you
pen.
please go over there and take a look at what she's getting written down? Meanwhile, up the backstretch, we're going to call the boats the way they are on the water. It is Shane on the outside. He's got a lead on Villwock, and he's got a pretty good size lead right now. He's starting to move over a little bit closer to the buoy row. Oh, see if Jimmy just doesn't head to lane 1, and he certainly did. Shane's got the blue boat up and running hard. He's going to make Dave run through some slop. I'll tell you what, coming out to put one in the books, it is Jimmy Shane. Are both of them? Both of our boats have jumped the clock, so we just now have a 4-lap heat. That's what you've got. Instead of a 3-lap heat, you got a 4-lap heat. They've both been penalized. You have to run an extra lap. But it's a full rooster tail. They got a rooster tail and a half for Jimmy Shane at the bottom end of the race course. I don't think Dave's going to try and run him down. It would be a tall order to do, and I'm not sure really what he would gain by it, Kay.
Oh my gosh, this has been a nail biter since the second these two left the dock. But Jimmy Shane in that Home Street boat coming down the backstretch. He is way wide, but that beacon, here comes Dave Villwock. He's coming after Jimmy. Brad, you said you don't think he'll come after him, but he, I believe, is still charging hard. Is that Dave Villwock in the Beacon Plumbing?
There's a lot of chatter on the radio right now, and we are monitoring exactly what is being said. There's a lot of talk going on. Dave just moved to the outside because he was sitting in there in an inside lane, and he was not only having to run through the slop that Jimmy was leaving as far as his wake, but he was having to run through the mist of that salt water, and he didn't want to do it. 2 in the books, Jimmy Shane down the front straightaway. It's a 4-lap heat. Shane is on the go. The boat looks very good. Down to the lower end of the race course, Jimmy Shane with a huge lead on Dave Villwock. This one was interesting since the moment they left the dock. We're going to talk about it. The officials are talking. Look at the patterns the boats have followed up the backstretch. It is all over the water. This one has been interesting. Jimmy Shane comes off the lower end of the race course. It's a parade at this point. The important part now is listening to the officials.
Oh my gosh, like you said, it's been since they left the dock, but Jimmy Shane is on the inside. Dave Villwock now has opted to come out of turn 1 and be all the way on the outside. We saw in the last heat, or the last lap, that he went from the inside to the outside. He is still trying to avoid the rooster tail that's being left behind Jimmy Shane.
Okay,
Brad?
we have a 1-lap penalty on the 40 for jumping the gun. We also have another 1-lap penalty on the 40. Dave Villwock has 2-lap penalties, 2 1-lap penalties coming across from the officials. Either way, it is Jimmy Shane way down at the bottom end of the race course. He is on his final lap.
You can hear that Home Street VIP tent. They heard you say that. You know what that means, Brad Luce?
Yes. If it all stands up and everything clears tech and the officials sign off on it, Jimmy Shane stands to claim the National High Points Championship for the Miss Madison Home Street Racing Team title. He can clinch it with a 400-point finish in this heat. He's half a lap away. He's coming up in about lane number 5. Jimmy Shane to the top end of the race course. He's pulled his foot. He's just got to negotiate the corner off the top end and bring it down to prick up the checkered flag. He's staying way to the outside. Doesn't want to have any problems here. Jimmy Shane, fans over there on Fiesta Island, give it up for the young man from Havre de Grace, Maryland. It appears as though he just picked up the Team National High Points Championship for Miss Madison Racing and Home Street Bank. And you see the cheers go up down in the dock. Congratulations, you guys. I think you got it. I think.
Has a woman in
Minutes to the 5-minute mark for H1 Unlimited Heat 3A, presented by Davies. So, J. Michael Kelly, Corey Peabody, Jimmy Shane, 3 guys from the Pac Northwest. They know each other well. They've squared off many times, and they've squared off in just about every class of race boat you could come up with.
That's what I was just going to say.
This is going to be fun.
And that is what's so much fun is to watch these guys as they do that. Because on the course, they're out there chasing points. Off the course in the pit area, these guys are best buddies.
Okay, we're coming up on 6 minutes and 20 seconds to the start, 6:20. Not sure if I'll get a countdown to 1 to the 5. I might. If I do, I will pass it along. If not, I'm sure we will get one. And here it is.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 1 to the 5, 1 to the 5.
1 to the 5. So, layman's terms, 6 minutes. We'll have boats out on the water. They cannot leave the pit area here until the 5-minute mark. So at about 30 seconds to the 5, I suspect we'll see crew members start moving. We'll see the lids go down. In fact, it's already gone down on Corey Peabody right now. Crew members are going to start stepping off of that boat.
They're taking that last little snitch on that 5-point harness. One more just to get them tight in the boat, and there goes down the lid of the H1 Unlimited Home Street boat. And that is driven by Jimmy Shane. He wants to go out there and grasp that title. He wants to make a double team of champions this weekend.
Coming up on 15 seconds to the 5-minute mark. It's going to get very interesting in the race before the race. Here's the countdown to the 5-minute mark.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. The lids are down. The lines are off. The adrenaline is turned up. Ladies and gentlemen, San Diego Bayfair. Let's go racing in Heat 1A, presented for Bayfair by Davies Electric. Jimmy Shane is away. J. Michael Kelly is away. Corey Peabody is away. 1, 2, 3. What a sight here on Mission Bay. Our H1 Unlimiteds are out on the water for Heat 3A, presented for Bayfair by Davies Electric.
If you're just joining us, and we're here the last couple days, here we're bringing out the big guns. Speeds of over 180 miles an hour. JMK posted he hit 181 miles an hour here yesterday. That was the top speed of what he was hitting as he came down that backstretch and entered into turn 2. 181 miles an hour, brethren. That is just incredible.
All right, so this is the race before the race now. Let's watch what's going on down here. Jimmy didn't go all the way down to the bottom of the race course. He instead wanted to cut the course. That's a legal maneuver, cutting it from front to back. J. Michael Kelly followed him across the course that way, and so did Corey Peabody. So all three of them cut the race course. There goes Jimmy again. Now we'll see if Mike wants to follow him, and Mike is going to follow him. We're playing a little follow the leader here, but we still have 3 minutes and 30 seconds before the start. There comes Corey Peabody. Now watch Jimmy Shane. see if he doesn't cut the course one more time. He can do it. There's 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, although he is slowing down. I'm sure that is on purpose. Now Mike's going to come up behind him. Let's see what Mike's going to do. Mike's going to cut the race course. So now we have separated those two boats. What's Corey going to do? Corey likes the move made by J. Michael Kelly. So he's going to follow him across the race course. Jimmy is going to go all the way down. Inside 3 minutes, Kay Brewer, 2:55 until our start.
All right, it looks like J. Michael Kelly once again going to take the opportunity to come back on the inside of the course, and it's going to be followed by Corey Peabody. Jimmy Shane just now coming out of turn 1. All three of these drivers are spread across the Mission Bay. We are going to look forward to see what J. Michael Kelly does, if he's going to opt to come in one more time and cut on the inside of the course. He does. Once again, J. Michael Kelly coming over to meet up with Jimmy Shane in the home straight boat. We are at 2 minutes and 28 seconds to the start of Heat 3A here in Mission Bay.
Watch what Jimmy Shane just did. He moved way to the outside, and now he's cut back to the inside, doing an S-curve like he's trying to scruff off some time. There's a lot of time laying here, and there they go again. That J. Michael Kelly cuts across the course again. He hasn't yet gone all the way down to the bottom or come all the way up here to the top. 2 minutes before our start.
Brad Luce, I have yet to see J. Michael take these particular runs all weekend long.
He's cut it again. He just went across the course one more time. Jean Theoret, you've been out there. You've been in the middle of this. This is when it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, this is really good right now.
We call it the race before the race, and sometimes it is the most competitive. 1 minute and 40 seconds. There goes Mike again across the Corey.
Jimmy's gonna, looks like he might be doing some more S-curves, and he's gonna continue to go down that front stretch down back into turn 1. Jimmy Shane going at a slower speed.
Watch Mike. He's going to cut it again. He's got a minute 20. There he goes. That's going to give him an opportunity to get in the inside, but is he too early? Jean, what do you think?
Much too early. Much too early. He's going to have to go around again.
So coming up on 110. 110 until our start. And there goes Kelly one more time. But look at Corey. Corey might be in better shape on this.
White flag.
Inside the 1 minute mark. Now that was Corey. He goes out way wide. And now he's going to come around. He has cut the course every time. So has J. Michael Kelly. Kelly cuts it again. Now we're at 45 seconds. Going to get close here, guys. What have we got? He's going to go behind him. So JMK is coming around behind Jimmy Shane in the home straight. Right now it is Shane in 1, Kelly in 2, and it's going to be Peabody in the outside in lane number 3. Now it's all about timing marks. Jean, do you remember how many seconds that exit into the line?
Well, from the entrance it's 22, so I think we're pretty close. It's probably 12 from the exit.
There we go, 12 off the exit. We'll see what it looks like, and they're at 14, 13, 12. I think they're right on the mark. They know what you're doing. Kelly got a lead as they're coming to the line. We are down to 5 seconds. Here is the all-important start. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 mark, and we are racing here in our Heat 3A presented by Davies Electric. It is Kelly and it is Shane. We're going to try and settle this right here and right now. Peabody trails the field down to the lower end of the race course. It is Jimmy Shane on the inside. Where's Kelly? Got to be right with him somewhere looking for Mike. There he comes right on his hip. This is really the first time these two guys all year have really been able to square off against each other. Yeah, they've been in heats together, but they've never really been side by side. It just flat hasn't happened. But we got it going on now, and the start has been ruled good. Jimmy Shane's got the lead. He's got about 5 or 6 boat lengths on J. Michael Kelly, but Kelly's going to stay in that right side rear view mirror. He wants Jimmy to make one slight mistake, and he'll be right there to pick up the pieces. But look at the boat speed that we are seeing in Jimmy Shane. Kay Brewer, he is picking him up and laying him down.
He is walking away from J. Michael Kelly. He says, you're not going to get these points easy. I'm going to make it work for it. Jimmy Shane is leading him into turn 1. J. Michael Kelly is now a rooster tail and a half behind the home street boat, but he wants to stay clear of that rooster tail because we don't want to see any of that go inside that motor and blow him out because he is looking for those points. Like you said, 800 points still on the line for today.
Yeah, and there's 400 of them sitting right here, right now. So JMK is going to keep the pressure on in case Jimmy makes a mistake. He's an excellent driver, obviously, with the number of championships he has won. But that doesn't mean he couldn't make a mistake somewhere. JMK is going to make make him be held accountable. Top end of the race course here on lap number 2. The distance is about the same. Kelly staying within the rooster tail. Kelly's getting a message right now that if he wants to beat Jimmy Shane, I think he's going to have to be on the inside of him. The Home Street Bank is flying down the front straightaway. He's going to come down and put 2 in the books, pick up a white flag, and he'll have 1 more lap to go. Look for JMK to stay right with him. I think the shouting's pretty much over in this, but he's still going to let Jimmy know that he is there. If he were to make one sort of a mistake, have a bobble, have the boat get out of attitude, he's going to stay right there. Kelly's still sitting right in the rooster tail there at the bottom end of the race course. Off the exit pin of turn number 1 on the third of 3 times around the race course, Kay. Jimmy Shane has got a lot of speed.
J. Michael Kelly swings way wide coming down that backstretch, and they have been hitting some rough rollers that were left behind on that turnaround that he was doing on the 3-minute gun. J. Michael Kelly looks like he might be closing ground. Jimmy Shane just took a big old hop coming into turn 2, and you know what? It looks like that baby blue boat is looking at the checkered flag because Brad Luce bring him down to the checkered flag.
Yeah, Kelly closed some ground coming up the backstretch on that one. Not enough. He's not going to be able to get him from here. Jimmy Shane in the U1. Miss Home Street is going to come down and take a first place in our Heat 3A, at least on the water. Heat 3A presented by Davies Electric. J. Michael Kelly will come home in second place, again on the water. These results are unofficial until the boats go through tech inspection. But it was a first place on the water for Jimmy Shane and the Miss Home Street. Second place to J. Michael Kelly, and third place coming off the top end of the race course right now is the U9 Corey Peabody. I'm getting some notes handed to me. It is not going to have anything to do with Jimmy Shane or J. Michael Kelly. There is some question.
Orcam Read, for people with reading difficulties. Meet the Orcam Read.
Stand by for a countdown in under 15 seconds. This is a countdown to 5 to the 5.
6, 5.
Jamie Nielsen is going to come away first. Come on, Jamie, fire that thing up.
All right, Jamie Nielsen still trying to spool up that turbine and that J&Ds, and it looks like he might be able to get it rolling. Dave Villwalk patiently waiting on the dock to see what happens with the beacon. We've got the hands are up. We're sending Jamie Nielsen and the J&Ds U11 out onto the course. Give him a big hand. That crew
There she
has
comes.
worked extremely hard all weekend.
And here comes Super Dave away in the U40, the black and orange Beacon Plumbing.
Villwalk in the Beacon Plumbing hammers it down and gets out of the, he wants to get out onto the course, get that motor running, get it out to start his timing laps. Jamie Nielsen still having some troubles getting back up onto the course in the J&Ds.
He just dropped back down.
As we patiently wait, you and me, Brad, we are got our fingers and toes crossed that he is able to spool it back up and get out onto the course, and he lights a fire one more time. Let's go, Reese fans. Let's all cheer on that J&D's U11 as Jamie Nielsen gets out onto the course.
Come on, Jamie. Meanwhile, down at the bottom end of the race course, let's not forget about Mr. Villwalk coming up on 3 minutes until the start. Everybody is watching the Chartreuse and Royal Blue U11, the J&Ds, boat owned by Scott and Shannon Rainey. They've worked so hard since yesterday afternoon when they oversped the motor after losing the propeller on the back of the boat. They literally oversped the motor so high that it basically exploded, destroying all the internals without the propeller being on the shaft after they sheared it off. I was told the RPMs of that particular motor went to about 140% of rated RPM, and the motor's just not built to stand up to that. That's what caused the damage. They've been working on it and working on it. They felt like they had it. They found the problem, and when they put the new bullet in it, they had an issue with the fuel control. They got that taken care of, but now they got the boat sitting out there. And unfortunately, Jamie has not been able to get this thing up on a plane and get it running. We're coming up on 1 minute and 50 seconds until the start. The boat has to be up on a planing attitude and on the race course at the 1 minute mark. He's got about 45 seconds.
All right, I hear him spilling it up one more time. We need all of your help, race fans. Let's get Jamie out there on the course in that J&Ds.
Come on, Jamie. Here he goes. Come on, Jamie. We can will him up, people. Let's go.
Let's roll it.
Here we go.
All of you fans.
Jamie Nielsen.
J&Ds out on
How
the
about
course.
that?
I don't know about you, Brad. Look, I got goosebumps.
I do too. That was awesome. San Diego fans, thank you. We did it as a team. Everybody came together and willed him to get up on a plane. Now we're only 8 seconds away from the 1 minute gun. He actually is going to be okay. He's going to have to hurry.
Mark, white flag.
White flag, 1 minute, and Jamie is still not running strong here. He's got it up on a plane. He's going to have to cut the course down at the bottom end to get up on the backstretch.
The backstretch is loaded up with Dave Millwalk in that beacon. He makes his way halfway down the backstretch. You can see he's starting to slow down. We're going to have to watch to see if he cuts through the inside of the course to make one of his last maneuvers. And
He's only got 38 seconds to the start. He's coming all the way up here, and Jamie is down. Just across start-finish line, Jamie is down after a Herculean effort by the crew, the team, the driver, all of you here. We all willed him out on the race course, and Dave Millwalk. That's a tough break. So Dave Millwalk comes off the top end of the race course. We'll see how the officials want to handle this. There's 10 seconds until the start. Dave's going to come down and put the U40, the Beacon Plumbing, on the start-finish line. 1 second mark. There's the start of Heat 3B, presented by Davies Electric. Drama occurred prior to the start.
oh, we're going to keep our eye out as Dave Millwalk makes his way into turn one. We're going to look right now. It looks like we are still going to run a 3-lap race. We will listen in on the officials to see if we will continue that. But Dave Millwalk makes his way into turn one and makes his way down the backstretch at speeds of over 165 miles per hour. Dave Millwalk in that Beacon Plumbing, giving Sharon and Kelly Stocklin a run for their money as they have worked very hard to keep this boat out on the water. Brad, bring him into turn two.
Yeah, top end of the backstretch here. Dave hangs it on the hook. That's that big wall of water that comes off the trailing edge of the left side sponson. That's where the skid fin is. That's what holds his line through that corner. Like that, he is off the exit pin. He will come down and put one in the book.
That's a
Dave.
veteran driver out there, and we know that he's the only one out there, so he's going to take it easy. He's going to hold the equipment for the final later on this afternoon at 4:20. But Dave Millwalk still rolling it pretty good as he goes into turn number one.
Yeah, Dave's down the bottom end of the race course here, so it looks like they're going to make him run all 3 laps. Dave will come off the bottom end of the race course. Basically, he has a nice 3-lap test session here. You can see what line he likes around the course. To your point, he doesn't want to break anything, and he's got the final heat still to come. Dave Millwalk up the backstretch from the U40, the Beacon Plumbing. And as competitive as a guy as Dave Millwalk is, he doesn't want to win it this way. Trust me, he would rather be going deck to deck alongside Jamie. He'd like to go out and have some fun. That's why these guys do it. This is how they have their fun. They like to go out, put a show on for the fans, and I'm sure Dave feels as bad as anybody about this, that it didn't happen in our Heat 3B. He will go past the disabled U11, the J&Ds, one more time and start his final lap. Bottom end of the race course for the final time. Dave Villwalk slides out to about lane number 3, maybe 3.5. A couple of loops inside him and still be illegal. Dave will bring it up the backstretch, not hitting it very hard. Season 2 at this point. Again, you don't want to break something with the final looming.
Giving all of our race fans a great look at that Beacon Plumbing boat. So make sure you get your cameras out and take pictures of it, throw them onto your social media. And just to give Dave the opportunity to show off that Beacon Plumbing sponsorship is huge. Beacon Plumbing has done a lot of sponsorship here for the H1 Unlimited. He's also sponsored one of the 1 liters that was out here earlier this afternoon, the Sanchez. Dave Villwalk comes down to collect the checkered flag. Brad Luce, let's look around the rest of our lineup. What do we have in store for us later on this afternoon?
Well, coming up next on our schedule, we have Kay Brewer interviewing Dave Villwalk and getting his opinion on that particular heat. And Kay will go down there. There's not much to talk about with Dave on that one, but he did pick up 400 points for the race team, and now he has got himself situated and ready to go in the final. So that was Heat 3B. Next up, coming up at 3:55, we have our Grand Prix America final heat. Final heat for Grand Prix America Hydroplanes. We're going to chase that with a 420 H1 Unlimited final. Super Dave will bring the bright orange, black.